This is the iPhone SE, and it's got a great camera and great performance. This is the Google Pixel 3a, and it's got a great camera. And this is the Samsung Galaxy A51, and it's got a very extremely good design. These three smartphones are the best smartphones that you can buy right now if we're talking about value. Samsung Galaxy A51 and Google Pixel 3a will cost you around $350, and the iPhone SE will cost you $400. So these three phones are under $400. Each one of these smartphones are really good at specific things, but in some things they're pretty bad. What is going on, guys? So in this video we will be deciding who has the best budget phone. Is it Apple, is it Google, or is it Samsung? Who has the best budget smartphone? Alright, so let's talk design. The Google Pixel 3a and the iPhone SE have huge bezels on the top and on the bottom of the display. The Google Pixel 3a is made out of plastic. The iPhone SE is made out of aluminum borders and a glass back. And the Samsung Galaxy A51, it's made out of this weird mix of plastic and glass. It's basically plastic. And the A51 has an edge-to-edge display. Now, if we're talking about design, the winner for design is definitely Samsung Galaxy A51. You know, if you look at it from far away, or actually just really up close, this feels like a flagship. Like, if we're just talking about design, this feels like a flagship phone. It's got an edge to it. It's got a punch hole camera. It feels like a flagship. So design-wise, Samsung Galaxy A51 takes the win here. Both the Pixel 3a and the Samsung Galaxy A51 have a headphone jack. Also, USB-C, both of these devices have USB-C. Alright, so let's talk displays. The iPhone SE has an LCD display, and the Samsung Galaxy A51 and the Pixel 3a both have an OLED display. Now, they are not the best OLED displays out there in the market, but they are definitely OLED. In my opinion, in my opinion, the iPhone SE, sure, it does have an LCD display, and at first glance, you know, if you just read it on paper, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, sure, the A51 is better because it does have an OLED screen. So, who is the king here? Google Pixel 3a and the Samsung Galaxy A51 takes the win here, but it's not that far off. One thing that I really like about Samsung devices is if you go into settings, display, screen mode, and click on vivid, you'll actually be able to just totally pull up the saturation of the screen tremendously. Alright, so all the three devices have a fingerprint scanner, but all three actually do it differently. The Galaxy A51 has a very futuristic in-display fingerprint reader. So the actual fingerprint reader is actually inside of the display. It sounds cool. It is cool, but it works most of the time. And that is one thing that is pretty frustrating. iPhone SE and Google Pixel 3a have very, very reliable fingerprint scanners. Google Pixel 3a actually has it on the back. Maybe if I have to choose a winner here, it would have to be the Pixel 3a because I like having my fingerprint reader on the back. Alright, so let's talk about the performance on these devices. And I'm just gonna say it straight off. The iPhone SE takes the win. It's got the same chipset as the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max. You are going to get flagship speed with this device, which is honestly very, very impressive. The Pixel 3a has the Snapdragon 670 with 4 gigs of RAM. It is buttery smooth. It is smooth thanks to the actual Android that Google has actually put inside of this device. It feels smooth. Sometimes it's a little bit laggy comparing it, you know, to an iPhone SE because the iPhone SE is just lightning fast. But I wouldn't say it's as slow as the A51 because the Samsung Galaxy A51, it's got the Exynos 9611 with 4 gigs of RAM, which is a chipset that Samsung has actually made. It is a very choppy phone. Like, this is one of the things that makes me not recommend this phone to anybody. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about speed, the iPhone SE will take the win. All right, so let's talk about the camera. If we talk about the camera, you might be thinking the A51 takes the win because, you know, it's got 4 cameras. Well, not really. The Google Pixel 3 and the iPhone SE take the win in the camera game with only one single camera. The A51 tends to overexpose shots and oversaturate shots way too much. For some people might like that. Let me know in the comments down below which photos you guys like more. But in my honest opinion, the iPhone SE and the Pixel 3 take the best photos out there. I mean, they take flagship quality photos, which is incredible, you know, for the value of $400. Samsung Galaxy A51 has a 4,000 milliamp battery, and that is some very impressive battery life, especially, I mean, it's already a good battery life, but especially for a $400 phone. Pixel 3a has a 3000 milliamp battery, and the iPhone SE has a 1821 milliamp battery. And that is definitely the biggest weakness on the iPhone SE. It's definitely the biggest trade-off. It's definitely the battery life, which is kind of sad. I mean, if the iPhone SE actually had a good battery life, I would actually call this almost a flagship, because the iPhone SE has flagship speed and a flagship camera, which is already amazing. So guys, what smartphone is the king? What is the best budget smartphone of the year? All right, so let's just talk about the Samsung Galaxy A51, and let's just say, it's not the best smartphone of the year, because the cameras, it's got 4 cameras, but at actually, comparing the photos, it's definitely got the weakest photos. But definitely the biggest weakness on this phone is actually the speed. It's so hard for me to recommend, and the fingerprint scanner, everything feels kind of slow. Luggage, it's just not a buttery smooth phone, and it's kind of hard for me to recommend. Design-wise, this definitely has the best design comparing it to the Pixel 3a and the iPhone SE. But it is sad. I was really disappointed with the speed, because if this phone just had a good speed, I would definitely recommend this phone to everybody. But sadly, it's not. So I'm definitely in between the iPhone SE and the Pixel 3a. The Pixel 3a, as I said, has a phenomenal camera, same as the iPhone SE. If we're talking about speed, the iPhone SE wins. If we're talking about battery, the Pixel 3a wins. So what do you want? Do you want faster performance, or do you want better battery life? Or do you want a perfect balance between both? If you want a perfect balance between everything that I just mentioned, in my opinion, the best budget phone of 2020 is the Google Pixel 3a. Just because of that battery. The battery life on the iPhone SE is just not good. But, of course, you also have to consider, what do you like? Do you like iOS, or do you like Android better? If you like iOS, of course, pick up an iPhone SE. If you like Android, pick up a Google Pixel 3a. Both of these devices are incredible. Like this video, guys. I appreciate it so much when you guys like the videos. It makes the video just explode, and the algorithm loves it, and it shows it to more people. So like this video, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
That's life. That's life. That's what all the people say.